Out of Character, a short story by Krista Schade, read by the author. My solicitor stood unhurriedly and with a practised flourish buttoned his coat at his middle. He did not bother to hide the disinterest in his voice as he droned his closing statement. Your Honour, the circumstances which bring my client before the court today are out of character. I listened, somewhat removed, as my reputation, integrity and my damaged soul was laid in front of me by the droning man. Flashes of that terrible night danced in front of my eyes, even as I clenched my eyelids tightly as the solicitor blah, blah, blahed beside me. Despite all my efforts, all my willpower, the thoughts invaded most of my waking moments and many of my sleepless ones. Too much drink, too much to handle, just too much. Some of the images that churned inside were my memories. Some were pieced together from police reports. And if it wasn't for the echoes of raw, panicked emotion that I can still recall, I may not have believed them. Our friends had spent so little effort on the platitudes they tossed to me and offered barely any support on those rare occasions when I'd reached out. It's just a rocky patch, they'd say. All relationships are hard, they'd say. He has a bit of a temper, they'd say, but you knew that. As if this was an explanation, as if my knowledge of a personality flaw excused years of pain, excused a miscarriage caused by violence and isolation caused by mistrust. The courtroom wasn't full. It wasn't dramatic like years of inhaling high-paced television dramas had conditioned me to expect. To the right sat a reporter at a desk, diligently reporting events. The bailiff, blocking the doorway, stood upright but not engaged. The police prosecutor had stacks of pale yellow folders in front of her, stuffed full of important papers. Mine was just one of many. I have no support person, no friends or family sitting behind me. No one to prove to the magistrate sitting above us all that I'm a human being. I am damaged and guilty and trauma-wrecked, but I'm a real person. I remember that now. After years of being stripped of my sense of self, it has all fallen away. And without him glowering at my every moment and movement, what remains is my own fragile identity. It's a shadow of who I once was, but it's there. My solicitor drones on relentlessly, but even he is not truly invested in what will happen to me. And if I'm honest, neither am I. It's chilly and the ugly grey heaters attached haphazardly along the walls of the historic building refuse to thrust any heat my way. Not that it matters. My bones are chilled from the inside, from the deadness that has seeped into my body. It is the feeling that has leaked into me as my child had once leaked out, and no amount of artificial heat can banish it. I'll carry that forever as an icy yet oddly welcome memory. The years of trying not to entice an eruption had exhausted me until that night, until the realisation that I had lost the one thing I had dared to hope for. I had tried to drown the feelings of disappointment and grief, swigging from the bottle as I attempted to clean the blood from my body. Alcohol had become my only solace, my way to escape my daily existence, but that night it had a different effect. That night, I had a different effect. That night, rage had erupted from me, almost beautiful in its fury, and I unleashed upon him the very darkness he had infected me with. It was out of character, and it had been the surprise in his eyes that had finally popped the balloon of my anger and left me deflated, drunk, and weary, but feeling little remorse. The arrest was uneventful despite the carnage around us. The whispers from the neighbours were muted as I was paraded before them and loaded into the back of the car with its garish flashing lights. The lead up to today had almost been surreal in its ordinariness, and now I sit awaiting judgment from the stern wrinkled man in front of me. Despite the uncertainty of my future beyond this moment, I know that no matter what punishment is passed, my life would forever be changed for the better. Because no matter where I awoke tomorrow or the days after that, I had left. I was free. No matter what form it took, my new beginning was here.